In Greek mythology, Charon is the boatman of the underworld, and it was this deity responsible for separating men from the world of the living to that of the dead. He is the boatman of Hades, who carries the souls of the newly dead over the waters of the river Styx and Acheron, which divided the world of the living from the world of the dead. Charon was the child of the two primordial gods of the Greek pantheon, Nyx, night, and Erebus, darkness. He was also the brother of Hypnos, sleep, and Thanatos, death. Nyx and Erebus had many children, and so Charon was sibling to many of the dark figures, including the goddesses Nemesis, vengeance, and Eris, strife, and the god Geras, old age. Hermes would escort the newly deceased to the banks of the river Acheron, the river of pain. Here the Charon would await, and take the deceased across the river, as long as they could pay the fee. Those who could not pay Charon's fee, would wander aimlessly along the banks of the Acheron for 100 years, or haunting those who had not undertaken the expected funeral rites. Those that could pay the ferryman, would be safely transported across the Acheron River, into the heart of Hades' realm. Charon guided the boat to the palace of Hades, crossing 5 main rivers: Acheron, river of woe; the Cocytus, river of lamentation; the Phlegethon, river of fire; Styx, river of unbreakable oath; and the Lethe, river of forgetfulness. The deceased could then stand in front of the judges of the underworld, who would pass judgment on how they would spend eternity. Traditionally, Charon was portrayed as an elderly man, found stood upon his boat with a skiff pole, or double-headed hammer in hand, who would ensure that no one who had not paid could not make on his boat. The underworld was the land of the dead, but crossing the Acheron was the primary manner in which the living could make it into the realm of Hades. The living were not supposed to be in the underworld, and Charon was not supposed to help them, but significant list did reach the underworld. Psyche was thought to have paid Charon to allow her to cross into the underworld. Psyche at the time was in search of Eros, who had fled from their bed. It is also generally assumed that Theseus and Pirithous paid Charon for the crossing of the Acheron, when they sought to abduct Persephone from the underworld. Hercules forced the ferryman to transport him. Hercules did this either by wrestling the Charon, or else simply by intimidating the minor god by frowning at him. In some parts of the world today, it is still customary to be buried with a coin. This is to pay the ferryman, who escort the soul into the land of the dead. Charon was similar to gods from more than just Egypt. In Mesopotamia, Ireland, and even as far away as the Philippines, people believed that a ferryman took them across a river to the land of the dead.